Hey, everybody. Happy Friday to everyone. Welcome once again to the Brownstone Worldwide Studios. That is. Listen. It's your girl, Paulette. I am a part of Brownstone Worldwide. We are currently in the Brownstone Worldwide Studios, and there's a lot going on behind me. I don't know if y'all can hear the banging and stuff, but it's about to drive me nuts. But it has to be done so that we can continue to grow. So, with all of that said, once again, I want to welcome you to your Friday edition of Brownstone Worldwide's very own The Day Shift. Y'all, did you see your United States Congress people give Mr. Shu Chow a way to go? I have no words. I have literally no words with how horribly they treated him. I am floored. I am embarrassed. I am beyond shock. I like the people that we voted in to treat people from other countries like this. And they thought that it was okay. There was actually a congressman, and I'm going to find that. I'm going to share it a little bit later on our social media platforms under Brownstone Worldwide. I could not believe what they put this young man through yesterday. So I came on yesterday and we talked about it a little bit. And then I went ahead and watched the rest of it after I went live. And I was completely floored with how they would not let him speak. I was completely floored on how one man told him, "Look at me when I'm talking to you." The gaslighting that I saw yesterday was absolutely disgusting. And it made me realize, without a shadow of doubt, why so many people who are from other countries don't like the United States of America, because of who we continue to keep voting in office, who represent us on these national stages. That is why a platform like a TikTok is so important, because they get to see real people. They get to see the people who are living their lives while life is lifing. And unfortunately, the way that they treated him yesterday showed no level of accountability for their behavior towards him. They kept putting words in his mouth. They kept telling him what he said that he didn't say. It was an absolute circus. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. Unfortunately, the hard part is somebody is lobbying for this to happen. So let's talk about that. Facebook. $12 million. Did y'all know that? The largest, actually. So do you think that somebody's palms are getting greased for this silliness that's going on, when we really should be focused on other things? Like I said yesterday in one of my TikToks, I said we should be focused on gun control. What about that police reform bill that was supposed to happen after George Floyd lost his life? And it's still sitting there. Ain't nobody talking about that. We ain't talking about that. We're not talking about child safety. So y'all talking about a child's privacy, but you're not talking about a child's life. You're not talking about how we can protect people from being hurt or harmed in their own homes or even in public. But we're talking about privacy. The privacy that other social media platforms are gladly selling to the highest bidder. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. What we're really talking about here is censorship. And I don't care what anybody says. That's really what this is about. This is about censorship. This is about keeping the American people from opening their eyes to another way of thinking. There's so many different things that you can learn out here in these internet streets, right? And so I think a lot of times when we are allowing people to continue to tell us what we're supposed to do, they don't know what to do with us now. Because, honey, we done got out here in these internet streets and we have found that there are different things that are happening all around the world. Because they've always told us we was the superpower. They always said when I was coming up, we were the superpower. Outside of the fact that I was a Black girl. And I was clearly reminded of that on a regular basis, especially when they started busing us out to white schools. I was definitely reminded all the time how much less than I was than all of my white counterparts, until they found somewhere for Black, gifted, and talented kids to go to. Okay? So I want to kind of put this in perspective of what I grew up hearing, how we were so great, how we were so that, all of that in school. And then when I got home, it was a whole different story. right? Because I grew up with somebody who was in World War II. He saw it. I grew up with people in the community who were suffering from PTSD from the Vietnam War and the Korean War. I saw it, and they were telling the truth. And after what I saw yesterday, I mean, I'm not blind or oblivious to what has happened in the past with other politicians or what happens in this country. Don't get it twisted now, okay? I'm no dummy. But what I was really af- uh, amazed at was how the politicians used it for their own stage. They didn't care nothing about what this young man had to say. They wanted snippets and sound bites. I honestly think that was what it was about. It was about, I want some snippets and I want some sound bites. I want snippets and sound bites so that I can sound as educated as I think I want to sound. And even though everything that I said that was coming out of my mouth about TikTok, you sounded like an absolute idiot. Now, there were some valid questions that were asked, like why are we marginalizing Black and brown people on the app? What really needs to happen is y'all need to hire some African American engineers and other people who are of other ethnicities who understand the language and program that into your system and into your algorithm. So when people say things like Black Lives Matter or Black people or folk or things like that that get people banned on the app, the system will understand. Okay. So when you don't have the right people in position, you are going to marginalize some people because they don't understand the language. They don't understand how we as a people actually communicate with each other. So again, therein lies room for improvement on all things. And that's one thing that you learn when you're in any kind of job or whatever is how can I do things better? No system is perfect. None at all. And because of that, he has committed to doing things better. So I'm going to share with you what he said.
Guys, it's Joe here. As you know, I just testified before Congress, and I wanted to share my thoughts about the experience with you. Now, before I do that, I really want to thank you for the comments in the last video. Now, TikTok is all about conversations and community, and I'm so grateful to hear from all of you. Now, here are a few of my favorites. Now, that is what it's all about. A lot was said at the hearing, but I hope you heard the message, the important message, that it is our responsibility to protect more than 150 million Americans who love and use our platform. Now, this is why I'm making the following commitments to you. Number one, we will continue to keep safety, especially for teenagers, a top priority. Second, we will continue to protect your data from unauthorized foreign access. Now, in the US, American data will be stored on American soil by an American company overseen by American personnel. Third, we will ensure that TikTok remains a platform for free expression and that it cannot be manipulated by any government. And fourth, we will be transparent and give access to third-party independent monitors to keep us accountable for our commitments. Now, we know that trust is built with every decision we make. We are proud of the groundbreaking work we are doing to be the most trusted platform in the world. Thank you for listening. I hope you share this information with your friends, your family, and your elected officials on why TikTok is important to you.
And there you go. You actually saw me putting my hair up in a ponytail before I actually went live. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I want you to listen to something that he said. It will not be controlled by any government. This is a privately held company. And one of the things that he did mention yesterday when he was testifying before Congress was I don't know what just happened, but we're back. So 20% of the company TikTok is actually owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance, right? And so what they're trying to do is they want the 20% of the company that is owned by the Chinese company ByteDance to actually sell their shares. So the question is, who's lobbying behind the scenes to actually make this happen or wanting to make this happen? And again, like he said, they're not going to be controlled by any government. Again, it's a privately held company, and they're really just trying to make it a place where people can connect and do all of the things. So I think where I'm having my issue and my concern is there are so many other things that are happening in this country right now that need our attention. And we're having an entire, my tax dollars and yours literally went towards a witch hunt on a company that is providing a place for people to get the news and information that they can use. You got a lot of people that are literally going nowhere else but to TikTok or maybe to YouTube or to social media to get their news and their information. So it's impacting so much. But what we also have to look at is what this means for so many people. The 5 million people who have made a career out of social media. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? So when you look at the totality of all of it, this is bigger than just saying, because what you're going to do, a couple things. So I'm going to put this out here, and y'all can take it any way that you want to, because when I give you the news and information that you could use, I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of seasoning on there. So let's look at what this really is looking like. So it's become its own economy. Social media has. You have people who literally get up in the morning, and the first thing that they do, instead of clocking into somebody's job, they log on to one of their phones. I am guilty. Look, okay, wait. There's more. Any one of my phones literally has an application on it where I go to work, if you will. So we're clocking in. We're just doing it a little bit different. We're using our creativity, and we're using different ways to generate the revenue for ourselves. So think about what this is doing for the entire country. What's happening is another type of revolution. We had the Industrial Revolution. We had a time when the world was changing, and we went from doing things manually to what we're doing now. So when we look at it, there is a technological revolution that is occurring right now, and it does include technology. It does include the way that we're doing the things that we're doing in terms of communication globally, and so a couple things need to happen. Number one, you either go get on a boat or you're gonna get lost. Okay, you can get lost on that island if you want to, or you can find your place within everything that is currently happening. So let's think about all of that and what that means. A new economy has already emerged. You have people who have literally become millionaires overnight. I've watched it. We have literally watched people become millionaires on these platforms. Okay, from selling their products and wares to building up an audience and all of that. So let me pause here, and I definitely want to talk about this as well. So while we're talking about TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and Fanbase and Blam Fam and Clapper and Bigo and UpLive and all of the other platforms where you can go, the one thing that you all have to understand is this, and I say this often. Not now one of these platforms do you own. Now, you might own some shares in them if you're smart, if that is allowed for some of the platforms that I just mentioned. And there are ways that you can become a part of Blam Fam, and I know Fanbase for sure. Now, and they're both Black owned, if you must know. So here's the question that I have. Let me sip on my little coffee. Listen. You don't own Facebook. You don't own Meta. You don't own TikTok. You don't own any of these platforms. So what I would encourage you to do, and this was taught to me years ago, but I could definitely see where that was coming from. Don't leave your audience on the platform. You be the Pied Piper for your business. That's first and foremost. And what I mean by that, you remember the Pied Piper. Now, that was a creepy story, but at the same time, the children followed him into the sea. You want people to follow you into the funnel, the sales funnel. You want people to follow you into your website or the product and service so that you can gather their information and you can communicate with your people directly. Do not become dependent on the platform to hold and store your information unless, of course, you pay for it to do that. And there's so many different customer relation management systems out there that you can use that you should be okay with paying some dollars for your information to be stored somewhere outside of these platforms. The platform is used for you to, of course, build your relationships, create community, all of that. But make sure that you are taking some time to get all of them folks and get them off this platform. Okay? So you can have access to your people, your audience, your customers, your future customers, and the people that are spending money with you. And a lot of people are learning this the hard way because now there are some people that are on TikTok that, they're saying, oh, well, the ban is imminent. Go ahead and follow me here. No. Let's stay in touch. Go to this right here. Link is in my bio. Let's stay in touch. Right? And those are some of the things that we definitely need to be doing as business owners. Let's stay in touch. Don't lose sight of what's happening here. We're building something amazing. I want you to be a part of what's happening here. And so with that, that's the same thing that we're doing here at Brownstone Worldwide, right? So of course, I have to tell you the same thing about us. I want you to stay connected with what we're doing. We're Brownstone Worldwide. We're also brownstoneworldwide.com. We're KCCR, the Brownstone, the radio station and podcasting app. And let's see who is on the air right now. If I am not mistaken, I know it's Replay Fridays is what it is, right? So let's see who's airing right now. We have... So the Hot Lunch Mix is on. Because it's Friday, it airs a little later than usual. But then after that, we have a special show with Angela Black, the customer service lady. Angela Black. Oh, yeah, she's going to teach you all of the things that you need to know about what? Listen, being your best self in your business. So if you didn't get an opportunity to see or to hear that particular show, head over to kccrthebrownstone.com and get the information that you would like to hear about how to be your best self as a business doing customer service and also as a customer. She did talk about that as well. So it's a great show. And that was one of our Brownstone Best Business Review clients that got all of her package done. All right. Now, after Angela Black, we have Marshawn Olania. That is also, again, it's Replay Fridays. Marshawn Olania with Love Restored, and she is going to be going through the chapters of her book that just came out. Actually, no, I think it's been about 2 years or so. But anyway, so her book is she's going to go through each one of the chapters, but she's only 30 minutes long. So she'll probably do like a chapter today. I've actually heard the show and it's really, really good. She normally airs on Mondays on KCCR, the Brownstone, and her show actually airs on YouTube at the same time at brownstoneworldwide.com. You can go ahead and check out all of our shows over there at Brownstone Worldwide on YouTube. And also don't forget, we do have brownstoneworldwide.com where you can get the news and information that you can use right here all of the time. Okay. All right. So let's continue to talk because I definitely want to talk to you guys about what's happening in the news. This is something that we always do. I like to share with you all some of the things that I have found out that still kind of confuse me a little bit because y'all out here playing in these internet streets for real, right? And I got questions. So the first things first. Now I told TikTok I was going to talk about this. So we mentioned it yesterday, but I need you to see how they playing with your food. While we over here giving people a hard time about social media platforms. Listen, there's a company that is creating manufactured meat. Did y'all hear what I said? Let's talk about it. So man-made meat is actually marching ever closer to your dinner plate. So there's another company, a second company, because one has already come out. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. There's a second company that's actually received a critical safety green light from the Food and Drug Administration, your FDA, and they can now move forward with the next steps towards selling lab-grown chicken substitute to U.S. consumers. Did y'all hear what I said? Because if you didn't, I might need to go ahead and say it again. Because I think you think this is a game out here in these internet streets. And listen, let me stop. I literally have no words at all. I'm floored. I'm flabbergasted because here's what's gonna happen. Y'all think it's a game out here in these internet streets. It's not. It's not. This is legit a thing. And I need y'all to hear me on this. Okay, so I have to pay attention to make sure that I can see myself. All right, so I'm gonna go back and I want to continue to go back through this because I need y'all to hear me. I said this yesterday in jest, but I need to say it again. So Good Meat is actually the sister brand of Just Egg and a subsidiary of company Eat Just. They actually completed their pre-market FDA preview earlier this week. And the agency's reviewers have no questions at this time regarding the safety of Good Meat's cultured chicken cell. Chicken cell. Wait. Just, let's see. Hang on just a second. Let's see. All right. So the text messages I received. Okay. All right. So let's get back into this. So Good Meat, the sister brand of Just Egg and a subsidiary of company Eat Just, completed pre-market FDA review earlier this week. So listen, the agency's reviewers have no questions at this time. They should have some questions. And so, basically, in less bureaucratic terms, what's happened is the FDA has deemed Good Meat's lab-grown chicken good enough to eat. Now, anybody that is on that panel, let me see how fast they want to go ahead and eat some man-made chicken. All right, so the positive, no notes review is just the second ever issued by the U.S. food safety watchdog to a cultured meat company. Now, actually, in November of 2022, last year, the agency actually issued its first lab-grown meat rubber stamp to Upside Foods, also for a cultured chicken product. Though technically not an approval process, the FDA's assessment of Good Meat's manufactured chicken amounts to an official green light for the company's tech and production methods. Now, in 2020, Good Meat was granted approval to sell its chickenless chicken in Singapore, and the company has been doing so there for the past couple of years, albeit at a smaller scale. Yet now it can begin entering the U.S. market once it clears a separate USDA hurdle, the company actually noted in a press release. So since Singapore approved Good Meat for sale, we knew this moment was next. Quote, "I am so proud to bring this new way of making meat to my country," the company's CEO and co-founder Josh Tetrick actually said in a statement. So Good Meat, like other cellular meat makers, uses a small amount of animal cells and a growth medium to produce larger quantities of meat with much less slaughter. But it's still lab produced. So this alternative to standard industrial meat has been heralded for years as a potential solution to many of the ethical, health, and environmental downsides of a current system in which animals are raised and killed in mass. Understood. I get that. Yet meat has remained mostly theoretical. So these FDA rubber stamps push the needle forward towards a future where easily purchased cultured meat could be a reality. So I don't know about y'all. As long as they tell me what the meat looks like and what it is, or there's a stamp on it that says this is lab produced meat, I might just seriously consider becoming a 100% vegan. The only thing that I eat at this point is chicken. We get ready to get rid of that now because I'm confused. So here's a question that I'm going to ask, and I'm going to post this in Brownstone Worldwide's group on Facebook. I need to know, would you be willing to eat lab-grown chicken meat? I got questions. I really, really do. And I need somebody to help me understand. What does it all mean? That's the question that I have right now. So again, I have no words. I have no words. It is, that's, yeah. All right. So, one last thing before I give you the news and information that you can use: is working remotely enough? Here's the question that is currently being asked. Okay. Now, does being seen at work really matter to you guys? Is it a thing? So here's what we know. Academic research actually does suggest that it does, but most studies on the topic were done before the pandemic altered everybody's work life, including mine when I was in corporate. And it actually impacted it so much that a lot of us have been impacted for good. A lot of us have gotten used to literally working from home. So with remote work far more common these days, have things really changed? So, according to new data from LinkedIn's Workforce Confidence Index, US workers are divided. 58% of Americans think it's important to be seen in person by their organization's leadership team. And then 68% of on site workers and 60% of hybrid workers agree, while only 41% of remote professionals do. Okay. So let's check out what some folks actually had to say. Okay, business should be seeing this as actual opportunity to eliminate cognitive biases. Bosses not seeing employees should mean a greater reliance on objective performance measures and not subjective ones. Excellent, excellent point. The arrogance and ego of many managers are going to fight this for several years, but eventually they're going to have to be forced to yield to the benefit of everyone, except maybe those managers, right? So, except a massive reduction in mid-level management positions, they will increasingly have issues justifying their roles, which they are. If you're not there, unless of course you're talking about a manufacturing position or opportunity where you physically have to be on site to do your job, if more and more companies are going towards a virtual model, there's several benefits that come from doing that. So it could be one from you're saving more money on, real estate, having to lease a facility or purchase a facility in a specific area. And the biggest thing is what I really like about working remotely. And there are some drawbacks, y'all. Okay. So working remotely can be stressful because number one, you're working more. There is a lack of that barrier of I clocked out. You know what I mean? I clocked out, even if you don't technically clock out. But this is when I turn off work and I turn off corporate me and I turn on who I am as a person. So that can become an issue. And I learned that even when I was working in corporate, one of the things that became a true issue was the fact that I was finding myself actually working more. Right now, my boss could call me and did at all times of the day and night to ensure that things were done or not. Okay. So now I'm in a position now where it's a choice to work as much as I do. You know what I mean? Because the business is growing and so forth. But when we're talking about being in corporate America and we have this opportunity to work from home and you take it, number one, it should reduce stress. But I'm learning that a lot more people are literally getting to the point where they have to connect to people in the workforce. How do you do that? You can do it virtually, maybe having online sessions in a Zoom room or a Teams room or something like that, where everybody connects at least once a month and has some kind of activity or a touch base, which happened quite frequently in my previous life in corporate. So it has its drawbacks because you can become a prisoner almost in your own home, right? Because you're spending so much time here. Your commute is a walk to your office, or maybe just open up your laptop where you are, and then you're doing your work, and before you know it, the day has gotten besides you. Okay, so you definitely want to look at all of the things, and there are more and more companies that are finding it to be cost effective for them as well. Okay, one of the things that I know that Brownstone Worldwide does is we work a lot with remote workers. So we're not new to it. It is actually more cost effective for us not to have people that are here in the facility. Okay, so yeah, it's a thing, and it actually does work for us. Okay, so what I want to do next is we want to definitely talk about Brownstone Living Magazine, what's coming up, and then I also want to talk about some of the air personalities that are here in the Brownstone. So let's talk about that briefly. All right, so up first we have Dr. Michelle Josie. We wanted to highlight her. She's the newbie on the block, and she's been doing an amazing job here in the Brownstone. So let's say welcome home to Dr. Michelle Josie. She is a data scientist, for those of you all who are not familiar with that. And she has a show called Numbers Don't Lie, where she literally takes you through on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. or actually 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go ahead and download the KCCR, the Brownstone app, or you can check us out on Brownstone Worldwide, as well as brownstoneworldwide.com/BWTV. And you can check out her amazing show. The reason why it's so awesome is because Dr. Michelle literally takes you through what data looks like. And she uses real life examples in love, relationships, your money, building a business, all of the things. So I would encourage you to go ahead and check her out. We're going to be highlighting some of our air personalities every week, and we're going to rotate them so you guys can check out all of their shows. Okay. Up next, we also have Leanne Dose of Dose and Lay. She has a show called Wake Up Happy Sis that airs on KCCR The Brownstone, as well as brownstoneworldwide.com/BWTV. All things Brownstone Worldwide, as a matter of fact. You can check her out Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Okay. Now, this week she has some amazing shows because we're still in the middle of Women's Month. And the cool thing is that I have learned is that her show encompasses everything. So it's not just about your self-care, what we think about like getting hair done, nails done, feet done. No, she digs deep. And she has guests to prove just that. So it's a pretty cool little program. You can definitely check it out. Then we have the Nicole Johnson of Girl, Your Money Matters. Okay. And Leanne literally has, I'm sorry, not Leanne. So Nicole literally has a financial summit that's coming up. And we're partnering with her in that. The Power of Prosperity Legacy Summit is coming up. And if you want to be a part of that, I would encourage you to go ahead and grab that QR code and become a part of the Power of Prosperity Legacy Summit. So actually, this event is actually designed to help you take control of your finances and your financial future while you're building a legacy. Super, super important, especially in our community, as many, many more of us are starting to notice that there is a divide between the upper class, middle class, and the rich. Okay. And you could definitely take advantage of that by making sure that you go to bit.ly/legacy summit gym. And that's Girl, Your Money Matters. That is the acronym for that. Honey, she's going to take you to the gym and she's going to give it to you straight. No chaser, all of the things. Okay. So yeah, definitely wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that and that you are getting all of the information that you need. Go ahead and grab that QR code and let's see if our news is going to play for us today. How about that? Y'all ready for this?
This is the latest news headlines in 60 seconds with Alan Edwards.
TikTok's chief executive faced tough questions on Thursday from lawmakers who were convinced the Chinese-owned short video app should be barred from being a tool of the Chinese Communist
All right, you guys, that was Alan Edwards, and you're actually getting the news and information that you can use directly from Brownstone Worldwide's very own KCCR, the Brownstone. So thank you so much for that, Alan, for giving us the news straight, no chaser. Listen, get your business listed in Brownstone Living Magazine for the next 6 months for only $200. Only $200. That's all you need. Okay. That's going to give you 4 pennies a day, literally for less than $40 a month. You're going to be able to access our growing readership of Brownstone Living Magazine. Okay. All you have to do to get access to that is to go to bit.ly/206 months. That's all you got to do. 206 months. Okay. Go ahead and click that link, get everything into us, and we're going to be communicating with you to get all of your business listing information. And basically what it is you're going to be able to have your company logo, your website address, your phone number, and also your contact email directly in a business listing within Brownstone Living Magazine. Now, along with that comes a 6-month subscription to Brownstone Living Magazine. So you'll be able to take a look and see for yourself where your ad is, and also enjoy some amazing content besides. All right. So I definitely wanted to share that with you all, and also let you know that KCCR Radio is available for you to download. You can download the app today on your iOS or Android devices, and you can literally listen to it at kccrthebrownstone.com. All right. Once again, it's your girl Paulette. You are currently listening and watching to KCCR The Brownstone and Brownstone Worldwide. Thank you for all of you all who are listening and watching wherever you are. We're really excited about you guys coming on here and hanging out with us every single day. For the last couple of days, we've been kind of keeping a watch on when we're the busiest and when people are going to be paying attention and all of that fun stuff. And I've really enjoyed coming on here and talking to you all about the things that are the most important to you. And that is what's happening with your freedom of speech, being able to say what you want to say, and politics and so forth. And one of the things that I talked about on TikTok yesterday was this: I hope you vote. I hope you vote, because listen, what we are experiencing is not new, but we know too much to allow this to continue to happen. I said this yesterday as well. I don't have a dog in the fight because I don't have astronomical numbers over on TikTok. It's not about that for me. It is the clear audacity of a group of people that we hired and put in office by voting for them, both Democrat and Republican. We hired those people. They work for us. And how dare you reverse that and make it seem like y'all know what's best for the American people when y'all won't even address the things that are really, really serious. Wasn't there an issue with guns earlier this week that hasn't been addressed because we don't have gun reform in this country? What about the thousands of babies that come up missing every year? What about the children who are being physically accosted in their homes, but we worried about their privacy? What about the hungry children? Let's talk about the issues that we have on our own soil, and maybe we can get some stuff done. That's all I have to say about that, because it just really, really boggles my mind how we're literally able to do the things that we're doing in terms of trying to censor, because really what this is about is censorship for me. And I don't care who, and I have yet to hear anybody disagree with me. So there might be something to it. I don't know. All right. So let's get back into the news and information that you can use. Y'all, I'm definitely going to be asking that question about good meat. No. So listen, Starbucks CEO actually picks up cafe shifts. This is important. New Starbucks CEO Laxman Narasimhan says he'll work a half day once a month at one of the chain's locations. He's got 40 hours of barista training under his belt and told staff that picking up shifts is going to keep him close to the culture and their customers. So working alongside employees could be especially tense, given that more than 190 locations have voted to unionize over allegations of unsafe working conditions and persistent staffing issues. Starbucks has nearly 16,000 locations in the United States alone, and roughly 36,000 worldwide. That's a lot of locations. So he also said that he would be willing to do it again, like I said, on a monthly basis. He took the helm at Starbucks on Monday and was previously chief executive of Reckitt, owner of Lysol and Durex. So big shout out to him. Again, all I'm going to say is this. I think this is a great idea to actually get on the floor and see how things are done, see how people are treated. It gives me undercover boss just a little bit. And the thing is maybe we shouldn't have known who he was before he decided to do this, because now people are going to start acting brand new. Excuse me. Do what you always do. That's what I say. Okay. That's what I say. Continue to keep doing what you always did. All right. Now, let's take a look and see what else we have in the news that's actually going to be over on brownstoneworldwide.com very shortly. Y'all, it's the weekend. Let's talk about that. And one of the things that we like to do on the weekends is we love to do the flea market thing. We actually have a store. Okay. So we're going to go and open up the store this weekend, tomorrow, and we're going to hang out at Brownstone Living and Essentials, get some stuff done, sell some products or whatever, have a great time, meet some amazing people. Because number one, y'all, it's supposed to be beautiful weather tomorrow here in Atlanta. So we're going to take advantage of that. What I would encourage you guys to do is to do the same thing. Go out and enjoy your weekend, have some fun, find something to get into, because the warmer weather days are here. On brownstoneworldwide.com for the weekend. Of course, you guys know we're going to be doing some lifestyle articles that you can kind of look at and kind of take some tips from. We're going to be talking about getting ready for spring. We're also going to be talking about preparing your lawn. We've got some recipes that are going to be there over the weekend. So I would encourage you to grab something hot to drink, maybe a nice lemonade if it's going to be hot like it is right now in Atlanta. Grab your phone and scroll through brownstoneworldwide.com so that you can get some of that. We have a Southern fried chicken recipe that's up there that's actually mine. People that are actually making a difference in the community. We're going to be sharing some of that. Family fitness tips as we get into the warmer months. What does that look like for you and your family? We're also going to be talking about, let's take a look and see what we're talking about, because I couldn't tell you right now. Let's see. Oh, we already talked about Ramadan and the Black community. So this is actually day 2 of Ramadan. So definitely keep that under your hat so that you're aware of that. Let's also talk about, let's see. Hang on just a second, because there's a bunch of stuff on here that we're going to be talking about. Faith and positivity, for sure. I know we're talking about that. And if you actually go over to Brownstone right now, I think it's in the Brownstone on brownstoneworldwide.com. We do have a music and cleaning tradition article that is up there. So that's going to move me directly into what's happening on Saturday in Brownstone Worldwide's KCCR, the podcast app. We do on Saturdays a mashup of old school sounds that are going to help you to do the things that bring back those nostalgic, amazing memories of not just cleaning the house, but, you know, going out, getting the groceries done, XYZ. Because see, now most of us are to the point now where we have a routine. We know how the house is going to look or whatever. We've got somebody that's doing it for us. And honey, we can go to brunch, okay? Or we can go do the things that I'm going to be doing over the weekend outside of, you know, continuing to build out what we're building out. We definitely have some time. I try my best not to do anything Brownstone Worldwide. And I will tell you one of the reasons why is because Cullen is like, you need to take a break. You cannot work on this sucker 24/7 all of the time. So I try my best not to. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to be hanging out. There's an Iris Festival here in the city that I live in. It's a suburb of Atlanta, and they're going to be holding an event on Sunday. So after all of my meetings for the day, I'm going to find some time because the event doesn't start until 5. Okay. And I'm going to go hang out and watch some live music and just do some things, especially if the weather allows. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is to go ahead and get the weekend newsletter. It goes out to everybody that is subscribed to Brownstone Living's weekly reader, and you'll get your weekend newsletter. What is in there is the link to the Brownstone Corner Store Deals link store. And we actually have a Facebook group where you can become a part of that and get all kinds of deals from Amazon and from companies like Under Armour and Goli Nutrition and Cheap Air. So we have built relationships with those folks, and we love to share that with you directly so that you don't have to do all of the hunting down that we do to get that information to you. So I would encourage you to go ahead and become a part of that. So that'd be pretty cool as well. You can, watch your favorite movies all weekend long and do nothing but shop all day if that's what you want to do. Okay. All right. Now let's get back into some of this news and information that you can use. All right. Let's talk about, let's see. Oh gosh. How do I put this? Let's talk about the state of Utah, y'all. Utah kids and teens will be barred from using social media during certain hours under a new law. Let me sip on this coffee real quick and hush. Okay. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Because Governor Spencer Cox has signed the legislation yesterday, making Utah the first state to limit social media access for minors. The law, set to take effect in March 2024, bars users under 18 from accessing sites and apps between 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. It also requires parents to sign off on whether their children can set up accounts, and it allows parents access to posts, messages, and other activity. Proponents say the law will help guard against mental health issues in kids and teens. Civil liberties groups says it poses free speech issues, and Cox has said he expects a lawsuit. Yeah. Yeah, you think? All right. I got questions. How are you going to enforce age verification? How are you going to do that? That's one. So companies already require users to enter their date of birth. So kids can just lie about their age to get access before they turn 13. So does Utah plan to force social platforms to scan a user's passport or driver's license? If this requirement is geo-restricted to Utah, won't kids just use a VPN to get around it? Let me see. What other questions do I have? Okay. What qualifies as social media? And who decides if kids can watch math tutorials on YouTube or chat about a group project on Discord after 10:30 p.m.? Did y'all think this through, folks? Here's another question. Does restricting teens' ability to post online after 10:30 p.m. violate their First Amendment rights to free speech? Does it? And does granting parents access to their children's social media accounts violate those children's right to privacy? Or right to privacy? I'm just throwing out questions. Of course, I made notes already. So finally, this new law shifts the burden of proof from plaintiffs to the defendants in lawsuits brought by minors against social media companies. How does that not fly in the face of our justice system? And finally, the new law shifts how exactly are social platforms supposed to prove their products weren't harmful to minors who bring such claims? It's so much I want to say. It's so much I want to say. It is. So here's what I'm going to do. You already know. What do you think about the new law in Utah? And how can we help lawmakers get this right? Because this is absolutely asinine to me. This is a joke. Okay? So these two bills were actually passed earlier this month by Utah's Republican-controlled legislature. You have to submit verification. So how are we going to do that? Who are we going to work with? Because they already asked you that, and all you got to do is lie. Whose phone are people going to get a hold to? Did you see? Let's talk about this also. There was a single mother, who took her son's phone away. And her son tore the entire house up, ripped the toilet off of the floor. He destroyed her stove, her refrigerator, tore the house up. So what are we going to do when things like that happen? I just had to kind of and he grinning like a Cheshire cat. I wish y'all could see these pictures that I have. Okay. What planet are these people on? Because mamas and daddies work, y'all. So now we're talking about a bigger issue. I'm not going to lie to you. My son literally was watching social media when he was 9. I think KJ was 9. And I started, because he was doing it anyway. You know what I mean? With me working and stuff like that, my kids had cell phones young because I needed to be able to keep in touch with them. And they were just basic, small little phones. It wasn't nothing expensive, just one of those little prepaid phones you get at the Dollar Tree or something like that, right? You activate it and they got access to stuff. So he had a YouTube channel. Lily had one too. And I had access to their logins at all times. As a matter of fact, I think Lily's 20. I think She just removed me from her Instagram account. I need access so I can find out what you're doing and what's not. Now, what we're not going to do is we're not going to go here and cut up. And when there are issues, I can look at your history and see what's going on. Then we can address it. And I had in the past. But they're grown now. So that's a totally different issue. KJ is 15, right? And so what I'm saying is at the end of the day, parents need to pay attention to what's going on with their children. That does not absolve companies from having to do their due diligence to keep young people safe. But we need to keep this in perspective as well. These kids are seeing everything. That doesn't mean that it's right or wrong, but they're seeing everything anyway. Do you know what I mean? And so when they're seeing all of this stuff anyways, what are you protecting them from? When the issues that they should be protected from are probably in their homes and in their communities and in their churches. Okay? That's just me. But what do I know? I didn't raise 4 by myself. I didn't do that. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. That part. All right. So let's wrap this up here, folks. I've only got a few more minutes before it's time for me to shut it down. Guys, I don't know what the heck happened to my stream there for a hot second. So thank you so much for continuing to hang out with me. I really do hate that it did that. What I'm going to do is encourage you to stay connected with us throughout the weekend. I'm going to be working with our little bitty team over here to get our weekend newsletter out to you all so you can kind of get some ideas on what you should be doing for yourself over the weekend, especially as the weather gets nicer, okay? Get out there and enjoy your weekend. Do some things. Now, here's what I would encourage you to do to stay up to par with us. Number 1, follow us on all things Brownstone Worldwide on all social media platforms. Brownstone Worldwide. What we are doing is we're going to be sharing with you outtakes, number 1, from last night's show. If you missed it, it was the wrap up, the part 2 to Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. We brought in some brothers and they actually gave us some scenarios and some things that they were concerned with when it came to love and relationships with a professional woman who literally has been single for a very long time. I don't even know how this question came about. I don't know. You guys send Cullen all kinds of emails and stuff like that. So continue to do that. And he'll be providing you with how to get in touch with him later on. So listen, make sure that you are paying attention to the day shift. It is your daily news podcast with a sprinkle of seasoning from me, your girl Paulette. It says 7 a.m. I don't know how that got on there. We're gonna have to change that because y'all know I'm not even coherent sometimes at that time of the day, even though our meeting starts at 7:30 in the morning. So yeah, I don't know how that happened. We're gonna have to go ahead and change that. But it's a great picture, wasn't it? Let me go ahead and put that back up there. Isn't that cute? Listen. Okay. All right, you guys. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. I've got some other things that we have going on in the office, but listen, stay connected to the Brownstone. Keep in touch with us. Brownstone Living Magazine is coming up for April, and on the cover this month is the Nicole Johnson because it's Financial Literacy Month. We're also talking about autism awareness, and so we're going to be having some people in the article, in articles within the magazine. They're going to be talking to you about their experiences, what they're dealing with, how they're coping, how they're raising amazing people, and how sometimes some of you all are autistic and you don't even know, and how to deal with that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a ton of different things. And we're also going to be sharing with you guys some of the amazing people in the neighborhood that are making a difference in their communities. That's important to us. So anyway, let me go ahead and get out of here. I got a ton of other things that needs to happen today before the day ends. But listen, 3 things that I always like to tell you before I wrap it up here. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life because listen, you only get one you might as well embrace the time that you got. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. I will see you guys on another edition of, you guessed it, The Day Shift with me, your girl Paulette. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend.